All right, looks like we're live and good to go. And just before we get started, I just wanted to say that I'll send out a request to anyone participating to become a panelist. And what that means is just that you'll be able to show your turn on your camera if you'd like to do so, and feel free to accept or decline, and message me afterwards if you'd like to turn on your camera partway through the session, whatever you're feeling.
Thank you. You're so clear.
Oh, thank you. Of course. Happy to.
You're well suited to the work you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much, Bobbie.
I'm not you after this week.
Next week will be my last week here, sadly.
I'll wish you well next week.
Sounds good. And with that, we're ready to get started. I think we're all live and good to go.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to an adaptive seated yoga practice. My name is Bobbie, and I was going to say I'll be teaching the class. However, I'm the only one in the space, so that's probably self-evident. And so welcome, and thank you for joining me today. And so I thought today perhaps as an intention for the practice, if you will, for your yoga class, seated, would be to keep in mind some of the sensations or these sensations that I think are really a great intention for your practice. So I like to think of it in terms of 4 sensations. And so one of them would be balance, the other rhythm, grounding, and expansion. And so balance, rhythm, grounding, and expansion. And so feel free to set your own intention as well if you'd like, if you'd rather. And so if you do, maybe setting that intention with one word, and we will revisit it at the end of the practice. And so as always, beginning the yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. And so sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. And so it's challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our bodies. And then when you're ready, bring your hands together at your heart center. And so this position of your hands is easy for you. In other words, if it doesn't make you lose your balance, that's wonderful. If you lose your balance, find another position for your hands. So it might be that placing your hands on your Buddha belly works better. And then lifting our heart to our hands, bowing our head to our heart. An invitation to take this moment to allow yourself to fully enter into the present. Release your arms down by your side, turn your palms face up, and then wiggly fidget, shake your hands vigorously. So you can imagine, if you'd like, that we're waving to our ancestors or to each other. And so if anything I share with you today does not feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel right, skip it and come back to your breathing. If we're focused on our breath, we are practicing yoga. And so at this time, I'd like to invite you to walk your hips forward in the chair, if that's available to you, if that's possible. So come forward about 2/3 of the way. If you're needing or wanting the back of the chair for support today, honor that. And I know some of you have amazing chairs and hugely supportive. And so yoga meets us exactly where we are. That said, I'm in Half Moon Bay on the Sunshine Coast in my little panel cabin, and I have a rabbit. So if you see a bunny hopping around, he is the real thing. And on that happy note, just a little bum dance. So an invitation to soften your gaze. Move your shoulder blades down your back, broaden through the collarbone. And then place your hands in a triangle around your navel. And bring your awareness to your breath. Maybe noticing without changing anything that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. And notice, is your breath long? Is it smooth or is it jagged? And so breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or if it feels better for you, breathing in and out through your mouth. And so if you're congested or you have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. And so from here, I'd like to share a practice with you that I like to call mindful movement. And so not mindful, mindful. And so I'm linking our breath with our movements. As you're ready, reach your arm up to the sky. And slowly float your arm down. So 3 more times on the same side, reaching up to the sky. And slowly float your arm down. So let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement. On inhale, reaching up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. It's as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees. And we'll begin the gentle movement on the other side. As you're ready, you reach your arm up to the. So it's not about forcing one arm to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. And then as you're ready, float your arm down. With gentle movement, reaching up to the sky. Bring your gaze up if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And then slowly float your arm down. Adding a gentle breath to the movement on inhale, reaching up to the sky. Slowly release your arm down. Soft Buddha belly, quiet breath. Release your arms down by your side. This time, let's reach both arms up to the sky. Take a look between your palms. If it doesn't create tension in your neck, then return your gaze on the horizon. Looking straight ahead, fold your fingers in. Press into the palms of your hands, or maybe placing your hands on the back of your head. So I'm going to choose to have my hands on the back of my head today. And together we can shout out, I am. And I can't hear you. I can. And I will. And sigh of relief. Release your arms down by your side. Shoulders up, back and down. Shake up. So a little more vigorous this time. A little more vigorous. So we all have our own sense of rhythm. And so, yeah, I actually shared earlier with my lovely tech host that I would like to explore reintroducing sound into the classes. So I've tried various things online and I'm finding that some things work and some things don't. However, my use of sound, the intention is to minimize pain. And so in yoga, we don't separate body, mind. Whatever affects our mind affects our body. Whatever affects our body affects our mind. And so I have a rain stick and I'm going to move in just a little bit closer. And I'm thinking with all the, weather, hot weather, that this might be lovely. So it's coming a little closer. And I'm a bit of a stumble bum, so I'm going to bring my block forward and see if I can tip this. So I appreciate your patience with this. And so invitation to roll your shoulders up, back, and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So moving away from the busyness in our minds and more towards our heart. And so take a moment, notice how you feel. So not about what we look like in our yoga practice. The diagnostic tool is how do I feel? All right, so let's, moving on, repose. So ground down through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. So we want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. So maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Energy moving in two directions, lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. Roll your shoulders up, back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And so, accessible, you can place 2 fingers on your chin. Imagine a turtle. And then when you're ready, bring your hands together, prayer pose at your heart center, maybe on your Buddha belly. And then on your next inhale, extend your arms up and away. And then bring your hands back together at your heart center or your Buddha belly. On inhale, extending your arms up and away. So your arms might be up a little higher than mine, maybe lower. Hands come back together. at the heart. And so in your own time and rhythm, keeping this gentle heart opener flowing, warming up our neck and our shoulders. On inhale, extend up and away if you'd like. Spread your fingers wide, and then as you bring your hands back to your Buddha belly, your heart center, make soft yes. And so the stretching our palms as we bring our arms up and away, and then making soft fists can be lovely if you happen to have arthritis in your hands. Inhale. And this time adding the sound to our movement as we bring our hands to our heart center. And the sound is a humming sound. Inhale. So you might notice that as we hum, it lengthens our exhale. Inhale. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the area between your navel and your pubic bone, the other on your upper mid chest or your heart center if you'd like. And take a moment to notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And shake out. And so let's roll our shoulders up, back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And so we'll repose. Make sure your feet are placed firmly on the ground or on your footrest. Sits bones sharp on the chair. So our spine is long, front body is soft. And then from here, we'll begin with simple neck rolls. Tension in our neck. And move your head in the opposite direction. So see if you can resist. The patient that one of my students is in New York City, Jacques, for those who know him. Move your head up and down as if nodding yes. On inhale, look up, and then drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, look up, drop your chin towards your chest. Our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. When you're ready, turn your gaze looking over your shoulder. Pause, and then visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. Imagination is powerful. Your head back through center, gazing over your opposite shoulder. Move your chin up and down slightly. Imagine, pardon me. Bring your back through center. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. If you'd like, and it's available to you, release your opposite arm by your side, and then pushing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. So not forcing the movement, but allowing it to happen. Slowly release your arm down. Bring your head back center. Palm comes face up at your heart center, upper chest. So repeat this movement 3 more times on the same side. So it might be that today you're visualizing the movement. And so drop your ear towards your shoulder, release your opposite arm by your side, pushing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Head comes back center, palm face up at the heart. So 2 more times in your own time and rhythm. And so I'm here for a visual if you need to see. And so my hope for you is that you develop your very own home yoga practice. So finish up the movement that you're on if you haven't already. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees. And we'll begin the movement on the other side. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side. Pushing through the palm of your hand if you like, reaching your arm up to the sky. See if you can avoid collapsing forward. Release your arm down by your side. Head comes back center 3 more times on this side. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side. Pushing through the palm of your hand, reach your arm up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. 2 more times in your own time and rhythm if you'd like. To finish up the movement that you're on, if you haven't already, release your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your lap and let your breath settle. And so shoulders up, back and down. And then an invitation to explore moving your arms in ways that you don't typically move. And so if it's helpful, you can imagine your arms like seaweed. Seaweed at the bottom of the ocean. And seaweed is making its way up towards the light. So stretch into the stretch. Get bigger in space. So now we're getting into that deeper tissue in our body, that fascia. So we tend to shrink. Stretch into the stretch. We all have our own sense of rhythm. So it can be helpful sometimes or interesting to close our eyes as we practice these movements. Bring your awareness to wherever your body's talking to you and then breathe into that area. Moving on, we breathe into whatever areas you feel like there's not so much going on. So our breath, of course, is considered part of our life force. So you really need to breathe into those spaces. And then finish up the movement that you're on. Rest your hands on your lap and notice how's your breath. Subtle sensations. And so reposing, maybe pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Feet are planted firmly on your footrest or the ground, not in the air. Our front body is long, or spine is long, front body is soft. And then an invitation to push down through one foot and then down through the other. So it might be an energetic pushing down. So one of the teachers that I studied with would often, Matthew Sanford, who happens to be spinal cord injured, would often say, you have to go down to go up. If you can't feel your feet for whatever reason, I'd like you to visualize your feet. Imagine feeling, pushing down through one foot and down through the other. You feel more than the other, noticing. And so from here, let's begin to bend our spine. And from side to side, I often think tree in the wind. Back to a neutral spine, take a moment. And then when you're ready, wherever you are in your breath cycle, take an inhale through your nostrils. And then on your exhale, see if you can draw your sits bones towards each other. And release. Did you feel a subtle shift? It might be so subtle that it's only apparent to you. So it might have been lifting your sternum. And then from here, let's come into a movement to help find our balance. So a gentle reminder, or if it's new information for folks that might be joining us today for the first time, if balance is a challenge for you, have whatever devices you need to keep you stable in your chair. We never forfeit balance to come into pose or movement. And so I can't see you out there, most of you. And so trusting that you trust your inner wisdom. And so we are the experts on our own body, and I will guide you as best I can. And so draw your hands in towards your hip creases. You need to, walk your feet forward a little bit, maybe bring your feet a little wider than outer hip bone distance. And then hinging from the hips, leading from the heart, rock forward in your chair. And so it's not about seeing how far we can go. And then rock back up. Heard me that if you have osteopenia, osteoarthritis, bulging discs, an invitation to visualize the movement, sitting up tall, and then visualizing moving forward a little. And so as you're ready, hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then when you're ready, rock back up. And so just a few more times in your own time and rhythm. And keeping this gentle movement flow. So there's something about this movement that can be calming for our nervous system. And so finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Release your arms by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And notice how that movement made you feel. So moving on, hands in your hip creases again, if that's available to you. And let's begin to make circular movements with our upper body. This might be smaller, larger than mine. You might be moving a little more quickly or slowly than me. Which is perfectly fine. And so as you begin to feel your hips and lower back soften and release, see if you can come a little deeper. And so moving towards your knees. Of course, we're not going to come all the way down. And we begin to move in the opposite direction. Awareness to the space around you. Maybe noticing the space in front of you. The space above you. Beside you, and especially let's bring our awareness to the space behind us and trust that you are being supported. So I like to think in terms of we, and then slowly make your way back to stillness. Walk your feet back. If you need to, arms by your side, rest your hands on your thighs. And let your breath settle. Notice any subtle sensations. And so moving on, let's reach our arm up to the sky. And then turn your gaze looking over your opposite shoulder. Pause. When you're ready, turn your head back, center, float your arm down. Release both arms by your side, rest your hands on your lap, and we'll repeat the movement on the other side. If you're ready, reach your arm up to the sky. Turn your gaze looking over your shoulder. Pause. And then float your arm down. And so I learned this lovely movement from a friend of mine who happens to be a mentor, one of my teachers, Keatski Hawk, lives in the States. And so turn your gaze looking over your opposite shoulder and float your arm down. Arm side, rest your hands on your thighs. We'll repeat the movement one more time on each side. So reaching up to the sky, stand beyond your wrists, your fingertips. Turn your gaze, looking over your opposite shoulder. Bring your head back center, slowly float your arm down. One last time in your own time and rhythm. Finish up the movement that you're on. Come back center. Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. So if you have a yoga buddy that can help you with the movements, so not doing the movements for you, but acting as a friend and a guide, that can be a lovely option. And so I always encourage family, friends, caregivers, and so on to participate in the class when possible, if you'd like. And so arms by your side, turn your palms face up. Ground through your feet, centering ground through the soles of your feet. Back your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So mountain pose. Our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And when you're ready, come out of the pose. And notice how you feel. So often when we're in a pose, we sometimes feel like there's not a lot going on. However, it's not until we come out of the pose and collapse that the awareness sometimes comes. And so let's come into another version of mountain pose. So with the idea, if you have to go down to go up, make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor, on the earth. Sits bones are sharp on the chair. Your spine is long, front body is soft. When you're ready, release your arms down by your side. Turn your palms face up. With a soft bend in your elbow, if you'd like, and it's available to you, reach your arms up to the sky. Take a look between your palms and notice that they're facing each other. If that doesn't create tension in your neck, then return your gaze on the horizon. Fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands, or maybe placing your hands on the back of your head. And together we can shout out, we are, we can, and we will. And with a sigh of relief, pull your arms down. Shake out again. And so, moving on, I'd like to share pose with you that I'd like to mirror a little bit from a book that I picked up in India. I'm just going to come a little closer. And so it's an artist, the visuals are an artist's interpretation of what the various poses in yoga look like, some of them. And so, and the text is, let's see, I can't pronounce. I'll work on the name, so I'll reintroduce it. But so I have shared lion's pose, breath, with you. However, today I'd like to choose the eagle pose. I don't know if you can see this eagle. So of course, we are going to do a lovely version seated. And so the eagle, I'll read this little piece. The yogi is poised in readiness like an eagle, carefully unfolding her strength in a balanced embrace as she readies herself to launch forth in flight. I'll read it one more time. The eagle, the yogi is poised in readiness like an eagle, carefully unfolding her strength in a balanced embrace as she readies herself to launch forth in flight. So we practice mountain pose, and here's eagle pose. And so I like to deconstruct poses. So, and again, of course, little bum dance. Make sure you're feeling comfortable in your chair. And then when you're ready, bend your elbows, arms in front of you. So your palms can be facing each other if that feels comfortable for you. And then I'd like you to reach over and rest your hand on the bottom of your opposite elbow, so cupping it. And then draw that same arm, fingers pointing up to the sky, in towards the midline and towards your heart. Allow that same shoulder to soften away from your ear. And then maybe on an inhale, reaching up a little higher. And if you'd like, hinging from the hips or visualizing coming forward a little, come forward. And so if you need to, walk your feet forward a little bit. And really slowly come out of this lovely pose, eagle pose. Release your arms by your side. Take a moment and we'll come into it on the other side. So as you're ready, bend your elbows. Take hold of your opposite elbow. Cup your elbow. Fingers reach up to the sky. Draw your arm in towards the midline. Let your shoulders soften away from your ear. And if you'd like, on inhale, maybe reaching up a little higher. And then hinging from the hips, come forward a little. And release. And shake it out. So when you're ready, cross one arm over the other. Let one elbow point rest in the other elbow crease, fingers reaching up to the sky. This is another version of eagle pose. Maybe the backs of our hands touch, maybe not. So honoring where we are today. Maybe it feels okay to interlace your hands. So I'm going to choose to interlace my hands today. On inhale, maybe reaching up a little higher, and then hinging from the hips. Walk forward a little if you'd like. And release. Shake out. So whatever we practice on one side, we practice on the other if possible. And so remember which arm was on top, which elbow point. And so bring your elbow point to the opposite arm crease. Fingers reach up to the sky. Maybe the backs of your hands touch. Maybe it feels okay to interlace your fingers. So it doesn't feel okay for me to interlace my fingers on this side. So it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. I just want them talking to each other. On inhale, lift your arms up a little if that feels okay. And hinging from the hips, come forward a little. Eagle pose. And 3, 2, 1, release. Whew. And take a moment to feel your work. Notice how's your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And so let's repose. We pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Ground down through your feet. So remembering the intention that we set at the beginning of the class: balance, grounding, rhythm, expansion. So let's ground down through our feet. Release your arms by your side. Turn your palms face up. And with expansion in mind, reach your arms up to the sky. So maybe it feels comfortable to have your arms up around your ears. Maybe it feels better to have your arms in gold pose, hands facing forward or towards each other. So I'm going to choose to have my arms up a little higher today. This is your yoga practice. And then maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. So bowing your head to your heart, give your neck a little nerve blessing. And so I'll transition into the sun salutation, honoring the sun, Mother Earth, reaching up into mountain pose. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Release your arms by your side, turn your palms face up on inhale, reaching up to the sky. Hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Hinging from the hips, on exhale, come forward. Maybe taking hold of the underside of your chair for stability. Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And pressing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pressing down. Place one hand on each near your thigh. Come on back up to a neutral spine. Bring your hands together in prayer. Lift your elbows slightly. Release your arms by your side. Turn your palms face up on inhale. Reaching up towards the sky. And so take a look between your palms. If it doesn't create tension in your neck, then return your gaze on the horizon. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Gently turn to the side, coming into a twist. Back, let's meet back at center. Gently turn, twist to the other side. Come on back center. Release your arms by your side. Into mountain pose on an inhale. Hands in prayer down through the heart. This time I'd like you to turn your torso towards one of your knees and then float your hands over that knee. Release your arms by your side, come back to a neutral spine, reaching up to the sky. Mountain pose, and then hands down through into prayer. Turn your torso towards your opposite knee, and then float your hands down. So grounding through our feet, reaching up to the sky. One last time, mountain pose. Hands come together in prayer down through. And take a rest. I don't know, speaking of sound, if you can hear the cricket outside my window. And so, just a little shakeout again. And so I'd like to share a practice called palming with you. And so if you have a pillow, a blanket, a bolster, something that you can rest your elbows on, if that feels comfortable with you, please explore that option. And I see my bolster just across the way, so I'm just gonna go get that. Or I might just turn my iPad a little. And I haven't got a pillow over here. So always using whatever's available at home. You might notice I'm in my jeans today. One of the silver lining of practicing at home. So I'm sure you're comfortable. And so it might be that you roll the pillow up And so again, if you have osteopenia, osteoarthritis, we are going to come hinge forward from the hips. So for you today, it's a visualizing the movement. And so otherwise, let's all of us bring our hands together, rub your palms vigorously, energize your hands, warm up your hands. And then hinging from the hips, bring your elbow points down to whatever you have on your thighs that works for you. That works. And then place your hands over your eyes. So cup your eyes. And so not putting direct pressure on our eyeballs. Just cupping our eyes. And if it doesn't create anxiety for you, close your eyes softly. And we'll stay here just for a few moments, or as long as feels comfortable. Let the warmth of your hands soften behind your eyes. So move your eyes from side to side a few times. And then gradually blink your eyes open, come on back up, seated comfortably. And either leaving whatever you had on your lap if that feels comfortable, and even feel nice to put it behind your back, depending on what you're using. And we'll come into short guided meditation. And then I like to think of the dessert part, your final relaxation. And so place your hands in a mudra. And so mudras were created to help us focus our mind. And so one that might feel lovely is actually resting one hand in the other. Your thumbs can touch, great. I know visually things aren't great right now. So placing your hands in whatever way, bring them together in whatever way feels comfortable for you. And so when our hands come together, if you'd like, think of it as a symbol of connecting with your higher self or your higher power, if you'd like. And then draw your hands in towards your hip creases. Look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then breathe into your heart. Or imagine breathing down and into your heart. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I feel ease. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. So meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh. So we'll sit and breathe together for a few moments. Breathing. Come into whatever comfortable seated position you'd like for your final relaxation. If you are in a position or you have a chair that you can recline in, please feel free. If you might be able to push your chair up against the wall and then place something. Make sure you have something behind your head to support your head and neck if you happen to be at home. And then rest your hands, palms face up or down as desired. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. So not scrunching our shoulder blades together, but allowing our shoulders to soften away from our ears. Well, most of us have our shoulders up around our ears. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. A soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Soft palms, quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. And let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. If it's challenging to quiet the mind, placing our hands on our Buddha belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. Without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body again. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Rub the tips of your fingers with your thumbs. And come on and seated back comfortably to finish your practice. Thank you. And so thank you to Sasha, my lovely tech host today, ConnecTogether, and the Disability Foundation for giving us this opportunity for us to spend some yoga time together. And so I always like to think of, or I'd like to invite you to think of yoga as being your gift to you. And certainly you're a gift to me. Anyway, I just embarrassed myself, so I'm going to stop talking now.
Thank you, Bobbie.
Yeah, questions or feedback, love to hear from you. If you want to post anything as a comment, anything at all, there isn't always a lot of time after class, feel free. And a gentle reminder that these classes are posted on YouTube and Facebook.